All right, gold crashes and Bitcoin's bouncing. This is the day many people have been waiting for. Look at this. Bitcoin is bouncing. Oh, it's pulled back here. But earlier today, it got hit a high of what? 114 almost. 114 because what? Because gold had a massive crash, right? And these two levels are interesting. Look at this trend line here and look at Bitcoin pulling back to this trend line here. But let me just show you what gold did today. Down 5%. This is the largest drop in 12 years. Look at that. We've never seen that from gold in 12 years. 2013 was last time this happened. Silver down 7% from $53 down to like 48.7, right? Below 50 now. Platinum down 7%, palladium down 5%. Like to catch gold, even during COVID, it didn't have a single day drop like this. Oh, by the way, the reason why I'm talking about this is because of this, right? I've been speaking about this a lot. Basically, whenever gold goes into hibernation or sideways consolidation mode, that's when Bitcoin takes off. This is the Bitcoin chart of 3rd of August, 2020, right? Here was COVID. Here was in 2020 August, right? COVID crashed and boom. Crypto, Bitcoin, everything took off, and then because gold stopped pumping and some of that money rotated into Bitcoin. And here is not 2020, but this is the last 2 years, right? Gold, March 2024, started pumping, and that's when Bitcoin topped in March and hit from 74K down to 49K. And then gold rested and went sideways, leaving just a little bit, not much of a drop, just a little sideways dip from 2,800 to 2,500 at best, 2,600. And that's when Bitcoin took off from 70K to 108, 109K. And then gold made another run up to 3,400-ish and started going sideways. As soon as it started going sideways, Bitcoin went boom, right? From 74K up to 123K. And then because gold has had this big run, now Bitcoin's gone sideways. But now we've seen gold, now if we were to update this chart, boom, hit 4,100 something. And that's probably when Bitcoin turns up and starts bouncing. I've spoken about this scenario a lot. I've spoken about this scenario like in each one of my last 5 videos or so. And folks should know. Right, folks should know that this is what we're expecting. I've been saying we could get a 10% pullback in gold. 10% pullback, that will take us to 3950 area. 3950, that means it's basically like below 4,000. I would buy again below 4,000 for gold. So here it is back in 2013 when gold actually took these, I'm guessing it's this day, boom, massive fall, more than 5%. Right, maybe this day as well, but it's probably either this day or this day. I'm guessing it's this day, like April 15th, 2013, right? Literally nothing happened in the world, and basically gold freaked out. Probably what did happen was that the fact that gold probably did really, the world was doing really well. Like, I mean, jobs were growing, inflation was under control. When the world is doing really well, so that's when gold tanks. Because gold is a doomer's asset for people who believe in gloom and doom. Kind of like Pablo, kind of like all the Bitcoin maxis out there. They believe there's going to be gloom and doom, so we better get prepared. So look, this gold pullback was pretty much anticipated because look, it's parabolic, right? When this happens, and a lot of commentators have been talking about this, saying that, look at the RSI, it hit what, like 86, but on the weekly, last time it hit 86 or so was in April 2024, and it went sideways. So let's have a look at the weekly chart. Right, so this is obviously a very high zone for the weekly. That's at like 85 as well. And last time we were at 81. This is 80. When we went above 80, basically gold went into sideways consolidation, right? So this was overdue. 86, way overdue. But as I've been saying, I don't think the bull run in in gold. The long-term bull run is over. This is a medium local top, and I said 10% pullback, something like 39.50. Could be as low as 38.50. All right. But what's going to happen to Bitcoin? And this is a situation I've spoken about like literally yesterday. So basically, when Bitcoin hits this trend line, like this is a massive trend line that held Bitcoin since May, late April. So it hit this trend line at 114K and pulled back, and it's going to stay probably for the closing under this trend line. See, this trend line held since August 14th, right? We've had boom, boom, right? Fake out and boom here. If we stay below here, that's respecting the trend line, but it's not a great deal for crypto and Bitcoin holders. But what's going to happen to the altcoins and what's happening to the Bitcoin? Is this a real bounce or not? Before I answer those questions, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Himen use? Well, Pablo uses exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. So that means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, FBI, CIA, nobody can see you, right? So I've made this great deal with them, right? And it's to win up to $6,000 plus 2 ETH, whatever that ETH might be by the end of this period. You know, it could go up, could go down. So basically get 20% bonus for every time you deposit as well. $20 deposit by depositing $100 and doing some light trading over $4,000. And if get $100 USDT bonus just by depositing $500 and doing some trading here, and get $200 USDT bonus by depositing $1,000 and doing some trading. Okay, so you get the idea, folks. But this is limited time only. This finishes on November the 4th. This deal finishes on November the 4th. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're watching this on some other platform, such as this one, that's okay. Just click on my profile page, and there's my Stand link or link tree, and we click on that, and it should be the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. But remember, this deal is only on the Pablo Himen link, only on the Pablo Himen link. Okay, so the with Bitcoin, it's I really hope it can close somewhere here under this trend line rather than underneath this trend line. So the level it has to get above is 111.4, 111.4, and you know, this 104.5K level is obviously huge. If we can get above that, then that reconfirms the bull market is back on. Now, here's the thing. It's the market is right now, I do think, as I've been saying, if you've been watching my last few videos, I've been saying the range of the crash was between 123K here, all the way down to 101K if we were to use the Binance chart, 101K here. So basically, I'm saying Bitcoin would swing between this 100K level all the way up to 123K level, right? Here is to take out all the longs, and here's to squeeze all the shorts. So I definitely think, even if, let's say in the most pessimistic scenario, even if this was the top, even if 6th of October was the exact top, 4-year cycle exactly at 126K, then you would still have Bitcoin swing to up to 123K, take out all the shorts, and then go down. So either way, I'm expecting a swing up to 123K. I'm expecting pinball machine, like a pinball, ding, 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 kind of action where you go down to 100K, up to 123K, down maybe even to like 104, 105K again, and up or down. And then after all that, I'm expecting a move up, a swing slingshot all the way up to something like 140 to 165K area, right? So now let's have a look at some of these most important charts. One of them I'm going to show you guys is this is Andrew Khan, one of the biggest traders out there, and he just went short. He went short on crypto, on Bitcoin, and on Ethereum like 2.5 days ago. Look at his losses. He racked up basically altogether something like 120 mil of losses shorting, and he got taken out. Like he He didn't think Bitcoin would even get above. He didn't think Bitcoin would even get above like 110K. When it did this candle, he got liquidated 110K, 110 mil. Anyways, all right. Enough about people who are not doing well in the markets. But this is a chart I hope folks are looking at in the markets. This is what's called others divided by Bitcoin, right? The price of others, we can see here, others divided by Bitcoin. And others, as we know, is all altcoins except the top 10. So it's all altcoins, not including Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Cardano, those big ones. And it basically reflects that kind of the big altcoins, including the mid caps, right? Divided by the price of Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is doing well, they tend to go down. Kind of like the last 2 years, Bitcoin has done well, and these mid caps have underperformed Bitcoin. But here, what's this, right? Just on the crash the other day on 11th of, this was October. Yeah, this is a weekly chart. So this was October 11th, like the crash we had like 10 days ago. On this crash, basically, we reached this massive level of 0.07, and this was a historical level for others versus Bitcoin. So whenever we hit this level, large caps and mid caps outperform Bitcoin. We had a bounce. When we hit this level again, right, mid and large caps had a big outperformance against Bitcoin. And finally, in December 2020, when we hit this level again, boom, it went on a massive run, and a second leg massive run until a year later. And that's, when the altcoin season finished. So you can call it coincidence or whatever, but we just hit that level again, 0.07 on this others versus Bitcoin chart. We've had this, it's been tested once, twice, 3 times, and now it's the 4th time. And I do think this is the time when altcoins should be taking off and outperforming, so especially the large altcoins, and then we rotate to the mid-size altcoins. Another thing we want to be looking at is the long-term holders' net position change. Now, long-term holders, as we know, are the people who tend to be the smart money. They've been holding Bitcoin for quite a while now, and look at how smart their decisions have been. This is when they buy a lot, and this red is obviously when they sell a lot. When they sold a lot here, this marked the top of this wave in 2013, and Bitcoin went down something like 80%, and then they bought a lot, and Bitcoin went up for another run, and then when they sold, basically Bitcoin went into a huge bear market. This is a log chart, but this is actually like an 80% drop, right? This is a logarithmic chart. But however, they mistimed it here by buying a lot as soon as it dropped. So nobody's perfect. They started buying a lot more here during the bottom and sold this top, and this was like a 25% pullback. And then they started buying again, and then of course Bitcoin took off. This is 2018 top, but they couldn't tell when the top was, so they started selling all this time, right? And then they started buying all this time when Bitcoin's around 7 or 8K, not knowing that Bitcoin would hit eventually 3K, right? 3K, this was, and when it hit 3K, they all panicked and they sold a lot. So they're not perfect. They're just better than most retail folks, right? And they bought a lot as we're leading up to the all-time high, and they sold some, but that marked the all-time high. And then we had the COVID crash. During COVID crash, they didn't buy a lot. See, they were scared as well. And then during this but what they got right was during this big run up to 64K, they started selling around 30K, right, all the way up to 60K. They sold a lot and they got out. They did buy a lot during this 30K. That was a smart decision, but they didn't catch this 69K top. They didn't sell. They were waiting for 100K. And here was a 15K top. They bought some, and it's not exactly brilliant. I mean, look at these greens versus these reds. It's not like they were doing brilliantly well buying around this 15K level, but it was okay, right? They bought here, which was smart. They sold here, which was a good signal, around 74K, and they bought when Bitcoin got to like 50K, right? They sold when Bitcoin got up to 109K, 910K here. That was a smart decision. And now they sold around this 124K area, 25K area, which is the area we're in right now. So what does this mean then? Usually, well, like, you know how, see how there's a symmetry, right, of these selling spikes. It goes down and it goes back up. 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 Like a sword, right? Like a sword. You basically have like one side and the other side, right? It's like a triangle. So right now, what we're seeing so far is it goes down, right? Could go down more, but we're not seeing the side where it goes up and then turns green, right? Because it goes down, it goes up and turns green. It goes down, goes up, turns green. Goes down, goes up, and then turns green. We're only seeing the going down side. So this is kind of corroborates my message all along that we are in a pullback phase, but the pullback would take something like 7 to 9 weeks. I've explained this concept of 7 to 9 weeks many times before. If you watch any of the videos I made in the last like 8 or 9, 10 days, and then you know why and what I mean by when I say we have a pullback and it will last 7 to 9 weeks. Doesn't necessarily mean we go much lower than 100K, but timing wise, it probably means we go down for at least 7 to 9 weeks with some wild bounces, right? I mean, look how wide some of these consolidation periods were, right? Look how wide they were. We've only just started like maybe 1/3 of the way through, and we go down and we do something like this, and then we blow up and we go through for another leg up. And for folks who are interested in the altcoin season, just check this out. This is basically the blue chain, and the blue line is basically crypto total market cap, right? Just not including Bitcoin. It includes ETH, Solana, BNB, all of those. And look how well it matches this chart of this red and green. What's the red and green? The Russell 2000, which is the 2000 smallest stocks, smaller businesses in the US. And basically they top together, bottom together, top together, bottom together, top together. And now all we need, look at this, all we need is for the Russell 2000. They've kind of broken to a new all-time high. There's a weekly chart for it to basically break through. If this breaks through, we're on the cusp of this. If this breaks through, then alts are going to be running. So just to sum up the situation, the scenario I've spoken about all this time of gold pulling back, right? And therefore Bitcoin taking a run has already happened today. Gold made its biggest plunge in 12 years today, right? Something to celebrate if you're a crypto bro. And Bitcoin's made this pop up, but it really needs to hold certain levels, as I've told you guys at the start of this video. And then when Bitcoin runs up, certainly we're going to get this run up in Russell 2000 or the small stocks as well. And therefore the small cryptos will run up as well. Small stocks run up, right? Shows that that risk on sentiment is back. Small stocks run up, and then small cryptos run up. Okay, thank you for your time, folks. I'll catch you next episode.